What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 66 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you're new around here, then make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, 2 races left in the second to last race of 2023 brings us finally to the first ever Las Vegas Grand Prix. And perhaps one of the most anticipated Grand Prix of the season, but of course before we do that, we've got to make what will likely be our last upgrade to the season here, a major upgrade on our DRS in the aero department there. And of course we've got our ultimate upgrade in the durability side coming in as well for the ICE, and our powertrain mine upgrade there, and to help us push in front, or further in front, of Red Bull as Ferrari, get back on top over Aston Martin, Alpine and McLaren. In terms of power unit, I'm going to make a change for the turbocharger. I've got one last part to play into there, and honestly, I don't want to run the risk in terms of the gearbox. I don't want that conking out at some point in these last 2 rounds, so we'll order one more then, and hopefully that one won't conk out on us, as if the power unit has done several times already this season. In terms of the World Championship, Lewis Hamilton then can clinch an 8th championship today if Verstappen fails to win the Grand Prix. If Max doesn't win it, then no matter where Lewis finishes, he is champion, and we sit 5 points back from Lando in the race for P5 ourselves. And in terms of the rivalry, Verstappen 5 points in front of us after that victory last time out in Mexico. Of course, we struggled last time out, so hopefully trying to redeem ourselves today in terms of results. We'll advance time then and get set for what should be a very entertaining Grand Prix. Of course, the first 2 Las Vegas Grand Prix in real life have been fantastic to watch, so I'm hoping we'll get a decent race here. And again, like it was in Qatar a few rounds ago, this is my first race in career mode ever in Vegas, so hopefully this will go all okay. We've still got some more resource points to spend then, so we'll put us towards what will likely be our last upgrades of the season. There's no point making upgrades for past Abu Dhabi. I've actually got enough resource points to go, I say 1.5k in the bank. We've actually got enough to make any upgrades at all. I think truthfully this could be all we can go for, and obviously I've put something towards the regulation change, but obviously it has no effect for us in Ultimate Career because we won't be continuing on to a second season on this game. So that will more or less do it in terms of upgrades, I think, for the campaign. And now it's time to head over to the Las Vegas Strip Circuit and get this race weekend underway. So here it is then, welcome to the entertainment capital of the world, welcome to Las Vegas and the start of the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend. Qualifying about to get underway now. In terms of taking that fresh gearbox for this race, that ended up leaving us with a 5-place grid penalty, so obviously a pole position from here will only lead to P6 on the grid. Hopefully we'll get lucky in terms of cars around us always get penalties. Obviously we're nearing that point of the season now. We're heading out onto the strip circuit for the first time in career mode. Of course, I've done races here in the past, obviously by myself, and in Creator Series F2 as well. So hopefully the experience from that will go all okay on our first qualifying lap of the circuit. 17 corners, the last turn being this little left-hander here, making our way down the hill towards turn 1, start our first flying lap. It's a short run to the first corner by comparison to some other circuits, especially compared to Mexico in the last episode. But making our way through turn 1 and now 2, and into the right-hander of turn 3 now. Of course, DRS come into play when we leave turn 3. And here on the corner exit, according to the F1 site, it's technically turn 4 out of that right-hander, but really not the case. It's too small to even be considered a corner. But DRS though, on the run down towards, we'll call it turn 5. Of course, the barrier waiting for you on corner exit. Crucial if you get that wrong and make your way through the sweeping left-hander. It's a slightly longer corner here going towards turn 6 before being met with a very immediate turn 7. And a chicane there just by the Las Vegas Sphere as we near the end of what is quite a long first sector by comparison to other circuits. Making our way through turn 9 here. Again, very tight left there. Want to try and avoid that barrier on corner exit and completing our first sector via 44.9, so not a fantastic start. Work to be done as always. Time to be gained. Purple second sector, making our way down towards turn 14. We're a bit too deep there, missing the apex completely. Having to get back on track for turns 15 and 16. Albon fastest there, 1:33.7 on the board. One of the Ferraris coming through, that will be Carlos Sainz, who comes through 1:32.8 on the board. That's our benchmark then for this first lap, coming up towards the line. Do 1:32, 1:33 here, so 8/10 off of Sainz's initial first time. So work to be done then. We'll go for a second lap and see what sort of time we can try and find. Obviously there's a lot of times we found at turn 14, making our way through for the second time here and definitely getting a lot of that time back. So the purple second sector, so improving, but tapping the inside wall going through turn 16 and heading down towards the last corner now, turn 17, up to speed once again, improving by a quarter per second on the run up towards the lines, complete that second lap, running out of battery towards the end, so staying in P6 for now, but a 1:33.454. And still definitely work to be done, but obviously we'll be on a fresh set of tyres for our next run and have full battery in the tank as well. In terms of the race, we're looking at potentially some rain. I'm not sure when in the Grand Prix. We'll get more of an idea of that going onto the grid for the Grand Prix itself. But P10 on the board right now. Leclerc as fast as the Ferraris are getting better and better in terms of qualifying these last rounds. Hamilton in P3 and Verstappen in P4. Remember, Verstappen needs the race win in order to have a chance at the World Championship in these last 2 rounds. If he doesn't win the race, Lewis is champion. But on to our last lap now in qualifying, keeping right the way up to the left-hand side of the racetrack, right up next to that wall for or darting back out to the right to head down towards turn 14. Got us a good entry there, improving by a tenth and a half as of right now. 2 green sectors making their way towards the braking zone for the last time into turn at number 14, over the curb, and going over the curb at turn 15 too. Being very careful on that, but gaining time regardless. We're going to gain a lot more compared to our first 2 laps, up by half a second now, charging up towards the line, lucky to avoid our lap being invalidated there, but through the line, up through turn 17 and towards the line to complete our effort. It will be 3rd place on the starting grid, so P8, 5 places down from the gearbox penalty, so decent qualifying.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top 3, Leclerc, Sainz and Cohen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So Ferrari then lock out the front row once again. Leclerc on pole, Sainz in 2nd. We qualify in 3rd, we'll start 8th from the penalty. Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Perez, Ocon and Gasly, your top 10. So there's pace in this car, and there's every chance we can try to win the race for ourselves. So now it's time to jump into the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Welcome along to Las Vegas. It's Viva Las Vegas tonight, as for the first time ever, the Formula One cars are racing along the strip. I can't wait to see what this place has in store for F1 tonight. Well, tonight we go racing around the bright lights of Las Vegas, 3.8 miles under the Nevada night sky and thousands of neon lights. There are landmarks everywhere you look, punctuating the 17 corners and 2 DRS zones. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Cohen, Ocon, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Joe, Ricciardo, Albon, Bottas, Norris, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Perez, Magnussen, Sargent and Yuki Tsunoda. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. What a season they've had, a well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now is surely off with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
Here we go then, no more talking, time for action for the Las Vegas Grand Prix from P6 on the starting grid, gaining 2 spots after our initial penalty, thanks to other cars having penalties in front of us. In terms of strategy for the race ahead then, the rain is coming towards the end of the Grand Prix, but that is what it said in Singapore as well, and that rain obviously came halfway through the race. So do you know what? This time we'll take a lesson learned from that mistake, and when I realised I'm changing the ultra strategy, we'll switch to the right one, just the one stop for the Grand Prix. We're going to start on the hard tyre, and we'll go on to the mediums towards the end. So obviously we can go longer on the hards if we need to, and if the rain does arrive early like it did in Singapore, then we can switch onto the inters and run those to flag, and try to avoid making that stop for the mediums altogether. So I have to wait and see in terms of when that weather arrives, but for now we'll start on the dry tyres. Hopefully the race stays dry all the way to the end.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
The lone starter then on the hard tyres. Everyone else going for the softs and mediums, with the only car in the top 6 to go for it. Verstappen starting on the softs. So what's his plan for the Grand Prix ahead compared to the other cars around us?
As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that within the points.
Obviously, it's been no secret that Lady Luck has not been the kindest to us over the course of the season, but a bit of luck could be what's needed today to try and make this strategy work, and if it can hold off the rain, it'd be preferable as well. In terms of the championship, though, that's what everyone's got their eyes on. Hamilton knows that Verstappen needs to win the Grand Prix. If we can try and keep Max behind for Lewis to try and win the race ourselves, that'll put Max out of the question, and we'll get Lewis the championship and obviously give Mercedes the best chance of the constructors as well. As the last few cars can take their spots in the back of the grid, who is the ace in the pack? Who's got the wild card up their sleeve? Lights are on. Ferrari on the front row for the first race in Las Vegas to get underway. It's lights to have foot to the floor. Go, go, go. We are racing here in Vegas. Good start compared to Piastri on our right, going towards that first corner. Verstappen and Hamilton side by side as Leclerc leads into turn 1. Down the inside of both Verstappen and Hamilton at the first corner, making our way through turn 2 now, 3 wide with the 2 title protagonists. Hamilton gets through, Verstappen on our right, both cars getting around us. Piastri trying the inside out of turn 3 and through 4 and making our way lucky to avoid any sort of damage on our front wing from that collision with the outside wall going towards turn 5 for the first time. The 2 Ferraris are gone, leading away by a second or 2 here as we make our way into turn 5 for the first time. Hamilton gets out in front of Max and we stay P5 with Piastri and Ocon challenge behind us, make our way down towards the DRS straight. Because obviously no DRS here for the first 2 laps, but still a fantastic tow to be had on the run towards turn 14. Max closing on Lewis now on the run towards the braking zone. Hamilton tries to defend the inside. Max gets to his inside first, going towards turn number 14 on the circuit, heading towards 15 and 16 here. The 2 Ferraris are going side by side for the lead themselves. Verstappen gets through for a second, but Hamilton gets a better exit and charges back behind the outside, trying to clear Verstappen. Can't quite do it, but pulling in front on corner exit as Piastri challenges behind us. So P5 for us right now, but could try and make a move to the inside of Verstappen. Help our teammate going through turn 17 to complete the first lap of this race into P4. Looking for a move on Lewis now towards the first corner. Got a fantastic run through the last few corners ourselves to the inside of our teammate going into this first corner and taking the place. Obviously, we don't have to actually see anything to Lewis as of right now, knowing that Verstappen is not in the race lead. Yellow flag behind us. Not sure who that will be right as of right now. Looks like one of the Aston Martin's got a problem. Alonso's up in the pack, so it must be Lance Stroll who's had some kind of problem this early on in the Grand Prix. So Leclerc and Sainz lead by 2.5 seconds. Stroll is out. First retiree this Las Vegas Grand Prix will be Lance Stroll, who retires just over a lap into this thing. Bad luck for the Canadian here, but no safety car, so things staying as they are on the racetrack for us. But in terms of what's happened to Stroll, the car, as it did in Qatar, just sort of conks out by itself, and that's it for him, because Stroll had the same problem during the sprint in Qatar and has not had much luck since, so not the sort of place to be for Lance Stroll, given this is Las Vegas of all places. So Stroll is out of the Grand Prix. On to lap number 3 now, and Hamilton is closing with DRS in play for the first time in this Grand Prix on the run towards turn 14. Sainz and Leclerc going at it in front of us. Of course, if those two keep on fighting, then we can try and gain some more time if they go side by side through corners, but Lewis gets in front of us for now, heading towards the left-hander of 14. Verstappen closing in 2. We won't try and go for a move as of just yet, but Sainz and Leclerc pulling away in front, 2.3 seconds to Sainz, and imagine to about 2.5 or so to Leclerc, tapping the inside barrier at turn 16 out that corner, but Lewis pulling him further in front now, using our back to try and stay with him as we make our way through turn 17 and back towards turn 1 once again to start lap 4 of this race. Verstappen is giving us under pressure on those soft tyres. Ocon in P6 going towards turn 1. Piastri has fallen away a bit here, and Norris obviously down the order, so McLaren not doing fantastically right now. Of course, Norris and Perez are our 2 main competitors in the World Championship. We're trying to pass Norris and potentially try and catch Perez if things are right for us today. But DRS in play on the run down towards turn 5 once again, and closing on Lewis. Our first opportunity to use the DRS in this Grand Prix. We're going to make a move to the outside of the racetrack here, side by side with our teammate into the right-hander of turn 5 we go. Lewis getting past for the minute, clears us on corner exit. The 2 Ferraris almost going side by side there on corner exit in front of us. Going to try and go to the outside of our teammate into turn number 7. Can't quite do it. Lewis keeps it in front for now. 4-car train here. Hamilton, myself, Verstappen, and then Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. So things staying as they are for now. Pushing further on to the back straight once again. This time it's our turn to use DRS and our teammate going towards this turn number 14 once more. And again, the 2 Ferraris, you see him in the distant front, pulling in front and going alongside each other again as we pass Hamilton. If those two go side by side through a corner, that'll work fantastically for us because they'll hold each other up, and we use it to try and close in for us at Mercedes. For now, it's Leclerc leads with Sainz in second place. Those two going toe-to-toe here for the top spot. We are closing that gap, though. The gap's down to 1.7 seconds between us and Sainz now. Hamilton falling away as Verstappen may challenge him out of turn number 16, but heading on to lap 6 of this race now. You see him going side by side once again through the right-hander. There go Leclerc and Sainz in front as Lewis gives us no pressure as of right now. Ocon is around Verstappen. Those two fighting each other for P5 in the running order. Not a good day for Max as of right now, but in front you see those two still going for it. Sainz looks to have the lead over Leclerc now. Those two still going at it side by side through the chicane and making our way through ourselves into turn number 9. We're closing in, closer ever so slightly, but onto lap 8 now. 1.2 seconds of the gap to Sainz in second place. There's every chance we can emerge from turn 12 with DRS to our advantage, making our way off with the left-hander, very tight left-hander, trying to avoid that runoff, going into turn 12 and now heading towards turn 13. The DRS zone into play. We've got DRS narrowly over the 2 Ferraris, and now obviously we try and tow Lewis along with us as well, but close up ourselves to the 2 red machines in front of Sainz. Passes Leclerc for the race lead, but these two have held each other up, and it's worked for us fantastically at Mercedes. Verstappen and Ocon behind, still fighting for 5th place as of right now, but Sainz in front, Leclerc second, and we're now right on Ferrari's tail in 3rd as Hamilton sits right behind us now. But poor run through turns 14, 15 and 16, so we'll lose a bit of time as a result. We can easily try and close that back in over the course of the next lap or so, heading down towards turn 14. Again, onto lap 9, safety car has been deployed. It's been an instant down in the far corner of the circuit, going into turn 14, and no clue. Looks like one of the Haas cars has got a problem of some kind, and I'm not entirely sure which one, whether it's Magnussen or Hulkenberg, but the safety car is out, and that will put us right behind the two Ferraris, heading down towards turn 14. This is Kevin Magnussen, who's had some kind of altercation, I assume, with his teammate Nico Hulkenberg, making a move to the inside on his teammate, going down towards the braking zone, and they're side by side. No one's giving an inch here, going into the left-hander, and Hulkenberg, I think, might have got under Magnussen. I'm not too sure. Magnussen might have lost it as a result just by himself. A contact there, being hit by one of the Williams cars. I believe that's Logan Sargent, so a tough break for Sargent. It's home Grand Prix, so I'm assuming to be met with damage there, but Magnussen still keeps the car rolling, so keep his ears as Perez goes through a few more cars who made stops, I think, before the safety car came out. So Magnussen will keep things as he is, but now runs dead last in the running order. And in terms of us, we have to make our pit stop ourselves. I think everyone will be coming in here to put on fresh tyres. This puts us in a bit of a poor position, because obviously we expect it to go a bit longer on these hard tyres, and we can't exactly forfeit a free pit stop to avoid going to the set of medium tyres. Let's go on to them now and hope they last the next 15 laps or so in this race. So into the pits, the two Ferraris double stacking it, as are myself and Lewis. There goes Ocon going through, takes the lead for a brief moment, but as the two Ferraris double stack, both of them waiting there. So we're going to take the lead of the Grand Prix by a bit of a margin over Carlos Sainz, who's put a set of soft tyres on. Ferrari, what are you planning this early on in the Grand Prix? So midway point, Sainz definitely can't make the end on softs if we can't make the end on mediums. So what the game plan is for Ferrari, you've got no clue. Verstappen on the softs as well. What's Max Verstappen and Red Bull trying? They're going for broke in an attempt to try and beat Hamilton to win this Grand Prix. Of course, they need the win to keep the title rolling. We don't. We can keep things as they are. And as of right now, Lewis will be champion, even though Max is sitting in front of Lewis. So here we go, though. Safety car is coming in at the end of lap number 12. Got 13 more laps to hold this lead. And obviously, we'll win the race, and Hamilton will win the championship for Mercedes. And of course, the constructors, it just give us a huge advantage of Perez down the order, and Verstappen may have to pit again, so that could put him out the points completely here. But in terms of right now, our restart is in keeping Sainz on Ocon at bay. Sainz on the soft tyre would be lethal on this race start. So making our way down towards turn 17 to get this on the way, trying to back up the field as best I can. But obviously, I haven't let a safety car restart perhaps ever in this, or at least on this channel. But Verstappen is pitting already here to take his change. Verstappen, what are you doing? You've completely thrown this race away. I think that will more or less confirm Hamilton as world champion, unless we get another safety car. But green flag goes back out on lap 13, halfway through this Grand Prix. Sainz in second, Ocon third, Hamilton now fourth, and Leclerc now in fifth. So everyone gets promoted to place thanks to Verstappen making that balls up. But Sainz might try to make a move on corner exit. We slid through turn 3 there, but kept the car under control. Heading down towards turn 5 once more. Sainz is closing the gap. Might try and move to the inside, not going to get close enough. So Sainz will stay in P2 for now as we make our way through turn 5 once again. On to lap 16 a few laps later. Sainz is still right on our tail. Hamilton is there, still P3. Leclerc now 4th, and Gasly in the top 5. So looking for a podium for Alpine as it stands right now. Sainz may take advantage of that poor exit, sliding again out of turn 4, heading down towards 5. Going to defend the inside, force Carlos Sainz the long way round, going into the right-hander at turn 5, side by side. Going to jump in front of the soft tyre Ferrari, and Hamilton pulls alongside in the hard tyre Mercedes. Our teammate looking for P2 here, making his way around the outside as we enter turn 6 and now 7, making our way through here, going way off the racing line, and has to slow up to avoid a penalty. Lucky to avoid any sort of warning there. We've got 2 already, so let's be careful of that before we get one more penalty in this race. But right now, Hamilton second, and right behind us, it's formation here between Mercedes, Ferrari and Alpine. All 6 cars running in the top 6 nose to tail right now. Hamilton is on our tail. We'll get DRS this time round, and so will Sainz and Leclerc. We could get completely bodied here as we make our way out of turn 12 and towards turn 13. Once again, Hamilton on our tail, following in our wake here, making our way towards the DRS zone. We'll open up once again. Hamilton got some decent toe as it is. The DRS makes his car a monster in the straight line, going down towards turn 14. Hamilton makes the pass there, going to the left-hand side of the racetrack, pulling clear of us, using our battery as best we can to try and stay with him and try and get back at him with a slipstream on the run down towards the corner ourselves. Going to pull to the inside of the racetrack on our teammate and soon to be world champion down the inside once again, looking to make that move stick. No contact. Hamilton keeps it in front, going to try and switch to the outside though, and bullet out of turn 16 and charge back into the race lead once again, only just. So we now lead once again. Hamilton second, and Sainz now pitting off those soft tyres, as did Verstappen. Sainz coming in as well, and that will more or less move Ferrari down the order, with only Leclerc in third place as of right now. Gasly now 4th, and Ocon now in 5th. This will be a great race for Alpine as it stands right now. Hamilton pulls to the outside on lap 17, makes the move. Keep back on the inside though, keep it in the car length and make that move again through turns 14, 15 and now 16, passing him on the left-hander exit and up into the lead once more, but keeping hold of things as it stands right now. Power unit seems all okay. The IC is a bit risky, but I think we should be able to make it just fine. On to lap 19 now, and Leclerc and Hamilton both on our tail here. Gasly and Ocon P4 and P5 as of right now, but can they try and nab a surprise podium from this Grand Prix? So we try and hunt our third win of 2023. Hamilton closing in, DRS now in play for our teammate, and Leclerc in the Ferrari also getting close as well. He's got DRS and a great toe off of Lewis. Leclerc tries the outside, looking for second place on the run towards the braking zone. Hamilton closing in, tries the inside himself, could go 3 wide here, going towards the left hand of this. This can't work, surely not. I'm going to try and get around both of them, trying to outbrake both cars, running a bit too deep there, going through turn 14. Hamilton tries the inside, gets in front, we slide out. Leclerc may take second place on corner exit, heading down towards the main straight once again. Going to try and pull in front. Leclerc backs out of it. P2 for us. Hamilton takes the lead back then and on course for the title. Can we try and take him back for the race win, given that Verstappen is now no threat to us? On to lap 20, 6 laps to go here in Vegas, making our way back towards turn number 1 here. Trying to pull to the inside of our teammate, trying to push him out of the way a bit, tapping him a few times through turns 1 and 2, heading towards 3 now. DRS in play for us for the run toward turn 5. Sainz fastest lap, so obviously no concern for us. That fastest lap point as of right now, but closing in on Lewis once again. Going to try and make a move if we can, going into turn 5 this time around, making a move to go the long way around on our teammate, going the high side in towards turn 5. Can we try and pull clear of him? Can't quite do it yet. Side by side, making our way through into turn 6 with the inside line going through. Hamilton backs out of it and we'll take the race lead back for now, but are braking way too early. That braking zone, honestly, it's caught me out all race weekend, and Hamilton's taking full advantage of it now. He goes over the curb at turn 8, we'll take advantage of that and take the race lead back only just. But these guys are still snapping at our heels here like hungry dogs, looking to try and take the race victory here in Vegas. On to lap 24 now. Lewis 6/10 back, but has DRS to his benefit as well, and our medium tyres are starting to fade here, so perhaps not a lot more time left for us to hold on this race. I'm getting closer and closer. Lewis is getting closer and closer too, closing in all the time on the run towards turn 14. Hamilton to the outside of the racetrack. Power unit potential failure. What's going on? MFD give us a free warning for nothing. There's nothing wrong with the power unit as of right now, holding off Lewis thoroughly, and that was a potential scare on lap 24, and I thought for a second it was race over with a lap and a half left to go, but hold the lead for now by a second, and Lewis is really falling away here. He's out of DRS range and Leclerc is right behind him, but the 1-2 might do it for the Constructors' Championship with both Verstappen and Perez low out to the points. One more lap to go for us here in Vegas, and we could be a lap away from both championships here. Hamilton a lap away from the drivers, we're a lap away from the constructors potentially if things stay as they are, depending on where Max finishes and where Perez finishes. Through turn 3 for the last time here, sliding through turn 3 and off the corner. Hamilton closing in on us once again, has DRS, doesn't get any DRS at all, but Leclerc will close in on the run towards turn 5. Leclerc to the outside, Hamilton being challenged for second place now, making her way towards the right-hander. Leclerc trying the outside, side by side with our teammate, making his way through, looking to become an 8-time world champion, but as for us, we're a second and a half in front now, heading down the back straight for the last time towards turn 14. Lewis makes the pass on Leclerc, 43 points going our way, and with Verstappen low and Perez out of the points completely here, this could be enough for us to win both championships in the last moments in Vegas. Few corners to go now, out of turn 16 and heading towards 17 for the last time. Lady Lucas flashes the sweetest smile here as we run towards turn 17 to complete our third race victory of 2023. We'll run to the line and win the first ever Vegas Grand Prix. Hamilton runs to the line second, and he is your world champion. Hamilton now over Schumacher, 8 times a world drivers champion. Mercedes win the Constructors' Championship, a double championship weekend, heading to Abu Dhabi with no pressure in terms of that race. We've beaten Red Bull, and both championships will return to Brackley once again.
And with that, another year of Formula One draws to a close and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. That's a spectacular victory, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Well, Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So we become the first drivers to win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Hamilton takes second, a 1-2 finish for the team, once again securing the Constructors' title. Hamilton, of course, now an 8-time world champion. And Pierre Gasly, where did he come from? Snatching P3 at the death. What a Grand Prix, perhaps one of the best ones all season, and a thoroughly enjoyable race, and I hope to come back to Las Vegas twice more in this series in seasons 5 and 6 when we reach F1 24 and F1 25. But of course, have a look now at the drivers and constructors standings as well as the results from this race and see where that leaves us in terms of both championships.
So let's review the drivers' standings. We also crowned a champion today, as their lead at the top is now an insurmountable one. What a great year it's been for Formula One. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Cohen.
Let's move on to the Constructors. It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
So Leclerc finishes in 4th place, then Ocon takes 5th, Piastri finishes 6th, Alonso 7th, Sainz came back to 8th, Verstappen 9th, and Lando Norris takes the last points on offer, so a big point gain over Norris, and of course a big point gain over Verstappen too. For Hamilton, the World Championship was leading to win his 8th, and of course only 2 points compared to 43 for Mercedes, and that'll put us just out of reach in the Constructors. P5 then in the standings. It'll be tough for us to try and catch Perez. We think we need to win another race and have Perez not score again for us to have any chance of that, but you never know, it could happen. We'll keep our hope going towards Abu Dhabi, but crucially, Hamilton champion by 61 points over Verstappen as of right now, and Mercedes now 46 points clear, so a few points in front of a 1-2 plus fastest lap. 44 full points on offer left for Abu Dhabi, and that will more or less conclude things in terms of the Constructors, so no stress there. But guys, that'll do it for what's been perhaps one of the most exciting episodes of F1 Ultimate Career to date. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more future F1 content. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and until the next video guys, I will see you next time when F1 Ultimate Career Season 4 comes to an end.